What's up, Nerd Crew? Nurdie J here, and this is going to continue our previous conversation from the Beast Wars era of toys that need modern interpretation. And now we're going to go into Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001 and take a look at what I think needs to be there to represent this line. Without further ado, cue the intro! Not taking the Autobot brothers into account because they're more likely going to come out, these are kind of just what I would like to see. So this would be just from the previous two conversations we had are going to be just pretty much repaints. So let's get started properly. The first one, taken into account of the honorable mentions video, is going to be Bludgeon. Bludgeon, I would like to see, because if they did the Generation 2 Heroes Megatron as either a retool or a repaint of the G2 Megatron, I think you can squeeze in Bludgeon too. He's not well known because he was a KB exclusive, but at the same time, you know, he was in the Robots in Disguise and you already had the mold. Why not just use it again? From the honorable mentions video, using a Generation 2 GoBot, I can't remember who this is technically. I think this is supposed to be the Bumblebee mold originally. The thing is that I do not like this being clear in the sense of all the joints being the clear, like the shoulders. And if you're going to do anything, I would use that red that's in his waist and legs and use that more often for the joints, while keeping the non-heavy engineering parts, like non-hinged or just the outer shell of the car, and make that the clear blue and clear itself. From the Beast Wars video, I did mention about Knight's Glider. Now, that would be a repaint of this character, Darkstream. Darkstream, I would like to be at a deluxe scale. Maybe a small deluxe, since, you know, he was initially a basic, but I don't know, somewhere in the deluxe range. And essentially, I don't know what you would do compared to what I mentioned in Night Glider to differentiate. Just give him a different faction symbol, or reintroduce for both of them the spark crystals, or a variation of it, and, you know, make one Predacon, one Maximal, and then you could just repaint one another. From the honorable mentions page again, redo the Heroes Optimus Prime into Destructicon Scourge. All you would have to do is just repaint him and give him like the darker red version of that pink windows they used to have, because the original toy, I think I'm thinking of the big one, the regular Scourge, but I'm not sure about the little one. The thing is that they had more of a pink tone to the windows, kind of like Generation 2, with the Alexanders having pink windows. I would like to see this more of a deeper pink, almost a red, I would say. And instead of making it like a foggy clear plastic, make it just straight up a red, a deep pink or red clear plastic. Dreadwind and Smoke Jumper would be using that Max B and Starscream mold, or the Dreadwing or Dreadwind and Smoke Screen mold. Yeah, I would just definitely just repaint it into this. I know it was a Target exclusive, but at the same time, it is a pretty hefty price point nowadays just to get these original toys. I would like to see them in RID colors and still as a 2-pack, just to alleviate some of that price. Back during Titan's Returns, I don't know what Hasbro was thinking with the original Fortress Maximus toy. I think it was Titan's Returns, but I could be wrong what series that was. Anyway, it felt like they darkened some of the tones, because it didn't feel like the G1 Fort Max. It kind of felt like they were trying to homage both Fort Maxes from Generation 1 and Robots in Disguise 2001, and not succeeding in either. So if you wanted a G1 Fort Max, you would probably go with the Legends one. And you still are kind of SOL on the 2001 edition. So I would like to see them dust off this paint scheme, because the paint scheme that I'm showing is the limited run of Fortress Maximus that came out in, I believe, Japan and Korea. And it never came to the American shores. So essentially what you do is just repaint the Titan's Return, or if they decide to make an actually good Fort Max and not whatever the mess that Titan's Return was, I would like to see that repainted also into Robots in Disguise 2001 Fort Max. Another Beast Wars repaint, well, pre-tool or retool, well, it wouldn't even be a retool, would be Gas Skunk. Gas Skunk, I would like to take away all the chrome elements on him and just make it the sparkly metallic paint. So like on the tail, he is supposed to have chrome silver, make that just regular silver, and I think he's supposed to like have golden orange or something, like a metallic orange insert in his tail. Just make that straight up orange. And yeah, you just repaint it into the previously mentioned in the Beast Wars thing. Just repaint him into Stink Bomb. Hot Shot, I would definitely make all the clear parts just dark white. Well, maybe not stark white, but like white. And then essentially I might want to redo the flames, because the flames to me, I'd like to watch like Good Eats back in the day when this was running. Good Eats just started. That was a Food Network show. And Alton Brown had a blender, stand mixer I should say, that had this exact design. Then later on, Guy Fieri showed up on the scene, and he has shirts like this. I would like to see the flame design, kind of like what they did with Turbo Tracks back in, what was that? Reveal the Shield, that's right. And essentially, kind of make a more tribal design. I know that won't be show accurate, but I'm kind of just tired of this, like, generic flame design. Now, I already covered Ironhide in the Generation 2 honorable mentions when I did, well, the original Ironhide from that toy line during the GoBots. The thing is that from what I said there, I'm not going to change anything. Like, what would I change? Because it's the exact same mold that would be used for Ironhide and Motormouth during Generation 2, just given a cow theme. And since there's no clear plastic, I don't really have to worry about the whole, what am I supposed to replace that with? So, essentially just focus on the articulation, give the truck a theme of a cow, and just figure out how to compress the chest. I don't know what else you can do with this one. During my Generation 2 video, I was trying to show off the original Mirage toy that I am showing you now as a still. Thanks to AI background removal, I couldn't show diddly squat. Heck, half the time my arms were missing. So, essentially, what I was trying to say is repaint the toy from Generation 2 into this more Mirage-looking toy. Maybe also throw in on the side panels. I don't know if he's actually got a number, but give him the number 26 as an homage to the G1. I know that's kind of like whatever, but essentially in the cartoon, I don't think he has a number, but as a toy, I think it's like number 1 or something. But why not harken back to the original toy? That's what I would do. And just essentially slim down that weird gun, too, to more of an actual rifle and not whatever that huge thing is. Rev, I have the same opinion pretty much as Ironhide. There's not much you could do other than heighten the articulation and essentially shrink that gun. Maybe be able to, with all of them, maybe be able to have the extending arms. But essentially, yeah, the paint job's really good, and that you would just redo the body so it actually works as like a small figure. Other than that, I really just don't know what you could do. In the original honorable mentions video that started this whole thing, not only did I cover Generation 2, but I also covered Machine Wars. So this would be the first paint of the Mirage/Prowl mold that I talked about in that video. So with this one, I would turn the white to an off-white, kind of maybe like a cream color, just to try and lessen the yellowing problem that current white plastic has. And then also, I cannot tell if like those knee joints are painted teal or if they are actually teal plastic. But ever since I got my first Bruticus, which I still have now, but my first G1 Bruticus, my vortex just shattered. All the teal plastic in that thing just shattered just like gold plastic. And so essentially, I had other issues with teal plastic as well from other figures, but that was the most prominent because literally there was nothing left but shell with vortex. I would definitely use paint on this. Use the white or the purple plastic, what have you. And then just paint all the teal parts teal. Slapper would be probably the original mold for the Spector 2.0 Transmels 2 version. And honestly, I think just a new coat of paint on this character using that new Slapper mold. And essentially, I would do something better than that melee weapon that he's got. I don't know if he ever used it in the cartoon, but I don't know, maybe make it more wavy or something, and maybe figure out that, you know, like part of it could be like a whip, and then another part could be a shield, and then you can combine it into that mace weapon. Something like that. I would take away the chrome on that 3-pronged laser cannon. That's how I've always thought of it as. And just make that like a metallic sky blue. That would be kind of cool. And then any other metallic, just replace it with chrome, I should say. Any chrome like in the eyes, and I think that might be it. But in the eyes, make that a solid color as well. For the last of the Autobots as well as the Spice Changers, we move on to Wars. Wars, honestly, I think he's actually proportioned quite well in robot mode. I would definitely add a hinge for an elbow. And I cannot tell, because I'm looking at this microscopic picture, that if he's got a white gun or a clear gun. Either way, I think that color in general should be changed. Either to maybe like a silver or else a blue, like in his windows, or the silver that's on his paint job. But essentially, the white just throws everything off, in my opinion, because there's nothing else white about him. I know it's an accessory, but if you look at the previous ones, their accessories are the same color as their base color. To actually round off this list, we are going to take a look at Windshear. Windshear would be using that Fierce Swoop mold that would be modified into Megatron and Megaplex from Machine Wars. All this is back when I did the very first video, and that will be in this playlist too. And essentially, everything that I had to say about that still applies, and essentially, I would probably make the neon more brilliant, I would say, of a color. It's a really cool green, but I think it could use some pizzazz. And maybe like brighten up that purple a little bit. I don't know. But essentially makes the hinge gun foldable so it can store, kind of like what it does with Skyfire. And get rid of that spring-loaded gimmick, add more articulation, and you're set. I hope you enjoyed this shorter video. This might not happen too often during this series. The thing is, I'm only covering Robots in Disguise, and all of them are various repaints, and I didn't really have much to say, but I tried to give you what I could about these characters. If you have made it through this, thank you so much. Don't forget to try and leave a like, subscribe if you feel like it, and also share. That would greatly help expand this channel. And essentially, I've been Nurdie J for Nurdie Boys, and I'll catch you next time.